Hi. I welcome you to find a place and wanted to make an announcement that I have a new website up talking about the sessions that I do with people and healing sessions and sessions working with trauma, sessions helping people through this awakening process of unwinding and untangling whatever ails them. So that's at Chesaray.com. Hi, Jim. We have some people here today. One person here today. Several people here online. So I wanted to speak on silence. It sounds kind of like a funny sentence, but this silence does not require quiet. It's more powerful than quiet or not quiet. It's more fundamental than everything that happens within and inside of it. Meditation is based on this, of course, this emulating silence by getting quiet. And it can be very helpful for our brains to catch on to the primordial silence by getting quiet. But we can truly find this silence everywhere, in any sort of chaos, in any marketplace, in any song, in any cry. And it sustains and cradles us if we value it and are curious, turning our nervous systems, hearts, souls, curiosity towards this silence. And there's a way to listen with the whole body. So I welcome you to do that, to really open your system, your pores, and listen to silence. You can feel the buzz of your body, the buzz of your organs, maybe tension, maybe layers of emotionality like depression or sluggishness or joy or anxiety. You can keep going in your discovery to what is this all happening within. And let yourself be carried by that. No need to effort out of or into any spiritual state. It's really letting the body have a curiosity about silence. And as usual, it supports the body to ground, to pay attention to the legs, the belly, the breath in the lower lungs. Just returning there if you find yourself buzzing, thinking, swirling. And if not, you can just let your body go. Just let it be as it is. Let the whole world be as it is. And we're receiving. Welcoming the silence into our pores and our cells. Welcoming the simplicity to overturn the chaos we create. Sarah, would you mind opening that window? It's just a little hot in here. Thank you. There's a real trust here that's available. So, in all of our efforts to massage our neck because it's tight, or stretch, or eat healthy, it's all great. And there's something even simpler that's really the most powerful thing that I found in healing. And people call it the silence, and a million other words. But it's so silent that it's not actually silent. So clean, it doesn't have a word that could ever touch it. And the mind has a lot of doubt, busyness, depression, hopelessness. And the silence does not mind. It steadily allows us to flounder. And if we humble ourselves to listen to the silence with the whole body and the whole heart, We're inviting it to teach every cell that might be filled with toxins, mental, physical, or emotional, to be still. For so long, I listened to the ticker tape of the mind, the talking, talking, talking. Like, I don't really get it. What's the point anyway? I'm never gonna get this, and I can't really be still, and this isn't it, and how come I feel so agitated? So during meditation. And that's called tying yourself in knots. And tying yourself in knots during meditation isn't so helpful. Just know that the mind ties itself in knots. That's totally okay. That's what it does. You don't need to stop the knot tying. The best thing to do is just return to something simpler. Any sense that you have of divinity or grace or simplicity, humility, or a turning towards, even if it's just a whisper. And turning towards your feet is a truer and more alive representation of reality than the mind that's beating yourself up or deciding this moment isn't good enough. Nothing's left out of this silence. Nothing, no part of you. And it's the greatest authority that there is. No need to do anything. We're just being. Can't approve upon this. Improving is tension. And silence is waiting. Where are we going? Silence swallows the trajectory of our life and our personhood. Silence swallows the trajectory of our life, the past, and our personhood. It lets us touch the mystery of life as it is, raw, here. And rekindles the cells to reunite with life itself as itself. And we're just receiving. We can't think our way there or push. We're carried. And we're willing. If you have a place with a chronic illness, you can wipe the slate clean of what you think about that and know about that and are used to about that, and just give it a go to be in the unknown with it, with that part of who you are and where you're going. This silence and unknown is equal to love in the highest form. This unconditioned silence, unconditional love. And we don't even have to reach for it. It's already who we are. It's like we become dirt as separate, struggling selves, just as simple as dirt when you let the rain fall. Make us into mud and grow ourselves a lotus. And just as you can't make a flower grow, you can't make a divine being out of yourself. The divine does that. And as an ego, you can cooperate or distract. So let's take at least a little time here to not distract ourselves. Unless it's a healthy distraction, like a resourcing move. It's not actually a distraction. It's a way to welcome more of yourself into this moment, like moving or noticing your feet. Notice how silent all of form is. Nature is rather silent at times, quiet. Not commanding anything of us. Like wherever you are, noticing the chair or the room, how it's not pulling or pushing at you. It just is. And even the waves of the ocean, you can sense the silence in them. It's like a magnificence. Palpable, giving constantly. And we're like that ocean, breathing. Constantly overturning, churning, all within this web of silence, all pervaded by silence, stillness. You can just feel how every desire that you have, that we have as humans, becomes a tension in the body. It can be like a chronic tension. Or just a tension right in the moment. It's a desire to be other than how we are. That's division at its fundamental core. The separation from life, from God, from here. Turned away from the most natural, it's now like, what's it like here? We have the report from the mind, and we have what's simple, You can really feel the tuning into this silence that's happening here in our group. It's amplifying each other's listening. Two or more are gathered in my name, I am here. Even though we don't know the characters that we play, we might not know each other on this. Whoever's listening in the days to come, we're made of this silence. We are the same silence, listening and talking to itself. No separation, no division. Welcoming and opening, surrendering. Okay with being okay. Quite a feat. And everything we're taught is not that. And our mind continues on and on. Okay. Okay. Instead of pushing towards awakening or our perfection idea, how about just okay right now? Maybe that builds a silence better than trying to take the reins. Away from somebody who's already showing up as this. And there's really nothing we can do to produce more silence. Like right now in this body, in this, it's like no leaning into or turning away, or it's like unless the nervous system needs some soothing, just to be here, which is totally good, to honor and worship that. It's like compassionate to practice that. There's nothing really we can add to get more of it. And this is the crucifixion of patience eternally. Sometimes we are swept away with big awakenings, and sometimes it's very slow and steady. And the slow and steady is powerful. And I had a habit of turning away from the slow and steady because I wanted deep dive after deep dive after deep dive. And there's a reverence here for slow and steady. After realizing that it was always here, slow and steadying. And that's when I was usually filling the time with distraction or self-defeating thoughts or trying to get somewhere or thinking about spirituality instead of just letting the slow and steady really melt me away. The me that feels separate. It will clean out every cupboard. It's a master. Every part of the psyche, soma. Finding your hiding spots. Turning them towards silence, devotion, cherishing, tenderly, fiercely, violently. He wants every drop of struggle turning away. It doesn't even make you turn towards it. It just grabs you as you're turned away, swallows you whole. Some parts don't even have a chance to unfurl or to turn towards, or it's just like, oh, where'd that go? And just these last 5 minutes, if it feels true for you, you can pay attention to the ground underneath you, this piece of land that you happen to be on in this moment, and your relationship to it. If you're in a house, you can feel down 10 feet. If you're on the second floor, feel down. Just feel that land. You can notice that your whole body is affected by the gravity. The electromagnetic field. And you're in relationship to it. Your electromagnetic field, your scalar field, are all communicating without you having to do anything. You can drink from the earth and pour whatever is no longer useful. Just let it fluff off like a compost bin. The earth is massive and has space for us. It won't be destroyed. And as you listen to the silence, you can listen to the earth. It's so wild how everything just springs from this fundamental sensation body, the sensations that are happening. How rested on the earth that we are. Everything springs from that. And before that, there's this silence that it's held by. And make it so complicated. Luckily, our systems are ancient, our DNA systems, and we can return to the fundamental basics pretty thoroughly. Reweave ourselves back into the silence and the earth. Thank you. Have a good evening. Hope you have good dreams. And those that know you are touched by your turning towards yourself tonight in some small or big way. Good night.